Given this barrier to participation, they found ways to operate on patients without the senior surgeon in the room. It's not illegal, but that is not appropriate for a junior resident to be operating on a patient alone. But this is what the residents who were very good at building skill quickly did. They also, for instance, spent a lot of time on YouTube watching recorded video of surgery, like 100 times as much as a normal resident. So shadow learning is, I can't build skill the normal way, so now I have to invent deviant or rule-breaking, bending ways to build my skill. I've found this in every other occupation I've looked at. These are not practices we should copy, obviously. It's not appropriate. However, these people are fighting to protect some things in their work experience that will allow them to build skill. Figuring out what that is, what are they fighting to protect, was the purpose of writing my book. The first third of that book, I looked across all the shadow learners that I found across many contexts to figure out what do they have in common. In fact, none of them explicitly identified these characteristics, like I have a plan, I'm going to protect these things in my work. But if you look at their behavior, you can see what they were fighting to protect. And that's the first third of my book: challenge, complexity, and connection, the 3 C's in the skill code. So the point is, the shadow learner is a critical source to go to figure out what are they fighting to protect. What can we do to keep working conditions healthy for productivity, but also for skill development? Not copy them, but they're a diagnostic, they give you critical diagnostic information. So challenge is the one that is perhaps most intuitive for folks, which is you need to be close to, but not at the edge of your capability to learn, to build skill while you're working. So it must be very difficult, require a lot of focus. You're not happy and relaxed. It's a very intense experience, somewhat stressful, and you're not performing at your best, a little bit less than your best because you're straining. It's a challenge. You must have a healthy amount of this challenge in order to really build skill well. Another, though, is that an expert is there to help you manage the frustration associated with that challenge. It's natural when you try to do something that is at the edge of your capability that you will fail in small ways. This is required. When you fail, you get frustrated. If an expert is present and doing a good job, they can help you put this failure into context to say, yeah, you tried to do this and you didn't quite succeed, but you're now capable of attempting this task. Last week, you couldn't even attempt. So they help you sort of understand that your frustration is natural and that, in fact, you have already progressed quite a bit. The expert has an important role to play in helping you process the frustration of challenge enough so that you can continue to push yourself further. The next of those is complexity, which is about how you digest and engage with the broader work experience that you're embedded in, not just the focal task. So the focal task for a surgeon might be making a suture well and then tying a knot. These are very focal skills that I have to get very good at. But a good surgeon that's learning well is also engaging with the nurse, the scrub tech, the supply in the hospital, the finances for the hospital, the computer and the IT system. They're trying to understand the entire system of work that they're embedded in, and they give themselves time to reflect on the whole system so that they can process and understand it. Engaging with complexity makes you better able to handle surprise and discover new ideas, because I'm more attuned to the system. The individual, you must always preserve space and time to reflect on the circumstance and look left, look right, try to understand. You yourself can do a great deal to be curious and try to engage with the broader system. At the same time, performance pressures in jobs are very high. And it's very hard for individuals to devote the time and effort to do this kind of engagement. And leaders in organizations can do a lot to enable this kind of success. So for instance, you can have job rotation program. I have seen 2 warehouses where in warehouse 1, people just go in, get on the line and do their job. And they get paid the same wage as someone over here who will learn more in warehouse B because they come in and for 2 to 3 days, they work on the line, they put their item in the bag, and then they're rotated to a different part of the line. And these rotations give you an exposure to different parts of the experience. Same wage, same job title, but that person is going to be more adaptive. Interestingly, the leaders in those organizations are not doing it to try to develop employees. When I ask them, it's very fascinating. They're doing it to create resiliency in the line. What matters to them is that the building is an effective processing unit. That means it needs to be able to handle surprise. It needs to be able to notice problems and catch quality issues. And then the third C, which is connection, which is a bond of trust between human beings. Trust and respect, actually, I should say. We don't often think of bonds of trust and respect as critical for learning, except actually if you reflect on your own work experience, anybody, and you think about when did I learn the most and why, often it's a who. There's a person. The person who trusted you, who gave you an opportunity, who gave you some healthy feedback, that you wanted to earn their trust and respect by getting better. I can speak for myself. This was part of my career for sure. This kind of bond of trust and respect for the novice, it provides them with motivation to do better because it's just important to you intrinsically. This is how humans are wired. We want to earn the trust and respect of mentors, senior people. And it goes for the other direction as well. Senior people, it's meaningful to realize that you can help a junior person develop and give them challenges to help them do this. You want to earn their trust and respect in response. But for the junior person, it also means that that senior person, if you do this, will give you your next opportunity. They'll help you. So it's a functional thing as well. It's not just relational. Challenge, complexity, and connection were consistently evident across all of the shadow learning that I looked at. All these people who were breaking and bending rules, they were finding ways to protect challenge, complexity, and connection. Unconventional ways, inappropriate ways, but they were grabbing for those three things. What's the leader's role in protecting healthy, good quality target selection? Individual leadership action is and has always been important. It will remain important. You have to lead by example and get primary data, personal experience with how people are doing the job in the organization. Most effective leaders now that I see spend personal, significant time with the most advanced AI, building things and showing how quickly they can do that in a way that's valuable to the organization. And including displaying failure and waste when they use. Reporting out to the organization as the leader or a leader of a function and saying, I tried to do this thing with AI and it was very bad. I decided it's a bad idea. But still, revealing this to people shows no one knows how to use this technology now. So modeling this is very important. The general trend that seems to have shown up in the economy in the last year or year and a half is that firms have slowed down hiring at the junior level and tried to retain and grow talent